Alright, so yesterday we talked a little bit about the importance of the fundamentals and making sure that your form is really tight as you're squatting. So I want to go over a couple quick checkpoints as reviews, where you might go wrong on these and what you can do to fix. Alright, the first that we're looking at is the feet. Alright, the feet in the squat should be just outside the shoulders, alright, with the toes just slightly pointed out. Now if you're doing your squats and you're duck-footed on them, okay, and you just cannot get the feet to stay straight, ankle mobility is what you guys want to work on. Stretching out the ankles, okay, working at so that you can maintain that position without being splayed out to the side. So again, that's going to be a huge part of it. Ankle mobility, and most of you, if you just focus on keeping the feet straight, that's going to help with keeping your positioning there. The second thing that we see problems at in the squat is if the knees, and go into a bad squat, Jamie, where the knees are caving in. Alright, is those knees knocking together. Go ahead and stand. If your knees are knocking together, you have to focus on spreading the feet, on spreading the knees rather at the bottom. Go ahead and do a good squat. So she's literally pushing the knees apart at the bottom of the squat here, keeping the knees in line with the toes. So if that means dropping your weight, if that means going back to a box squat, working those fundamentals, that's going to be a huge piece of not putting a lot of strain on the knee joint. Now, the second thing, if you want to face to the side would be great. Okay, the hips, what are we looking for here? So go ahead into like a quarter squat. So the first thing is you want to make sure you get all the way parallel. This is not parallel. Keep going down, Jamie. Once the, all the way to parallel for this one. Okay, so once the crease of the hip is even with the knee, that's in your full parallel position. So when you're in that position, go ahead and stand. That's going to be the healthiest position to squat from for the knee joint. It's going to get the hamstrings and the glutes firing. Drop down one more time into a full range motion squat. There we go, and drive up. From a side profile, we can also see that the heels are staying down on the ground. Her weight's not shifting forward. Now, getting to the full parallel position, a lot of that is going to be the same thing as if you're going to see that not getting to full position. When you do get to full position, the heels come off the ground. So there, you're probably looking at your quads and your hip flexors are too tight. We need to spend some time stretching those out, working your mobility, flexibility there. And again, maybe backing up, doing some more box squats, lowering your weight, making sure your positioning is tight. Along with the hips, you're not coming straight down. You're pushing the hips back. So do a squat where you're getting forward into the knees. Okay, and stand back up. So it's not a squat, my weight's coming onto the knees. It's you're pushing the butt back, pushing the hips behind you, getting all the way down and standing up. Okay, and then finally, going back into a full squat hold at the bottom. Okay, you notice the back is staying straight. Alright, so our shoulders aren't rounding forward. If your shoulders round forward in your squat, we need to work some shoulder mobility. So that upper back is rounding. If the low back is rounding at the bottom of your squat, okay, and you kind of get the butt turning under, or a little butt wink is what some people will call it. Go ahead and stand. That would indicate that we need to stretch out the hamstrings a little bit. So you've got some good examples here of what a proper full depth squat is going to look like, those checkpoints, and more importantly, if you're not hitting your checkpoints, what you can do and what areas you can focus on, whether it's stretching or backing up, building the strength back up, just working that technique so that you're using correct form on those squats. So use this video kind of as a reference as needed to make sure you're squatting correctly. Alright guys.